How's everybody doing today? I hope you're doing well. Today I want to talk about something that's very taboo in a lot of households: mom burnout. I have two mental health diagnoses. One is bipolar 2, and another one is a new diagnosis I got about 2 months ago: avoidant personality disorder, which apparently is pretty rare. I did not know how to feel about that. I have 6 children altogether with my dead ex husband of 20 years who has passed away from a drug overdose. It's been almost 2 years now. I have 3 of those children living with me, ages 20, 19, and about to be 16. I'm a stay at home, full time working mom. I'm a writer, I'm a musician, I have my own music label, Masters of Fate Music. I'm writing books, I'm making music. I'm also a homemaker. I homeschool my children. Only one of them is still in high school. She's got 2 years left. And my entire life revolves around healing from trauma because I've been through a lot and I share my story on my channel. Today, we're going to talk about mom burnout. I'm not just a mom, I have my own business and I'm a human being trying to heal herself from trauma. And I'm also a person that has mental health issues, i.e., I'm very sensitive to light and sound. Now, understand, I have spiritual gifts as well. So I look at my diagnosis through a spiritual lens, not just a medical lens. I know that the environment I was raised in had a lot to do with what's going on with me. I also know that what's going on with me spiritually has a lot to do with my sensitivities. Being able to sense how people feel or what they're going through, sometimes hearing their thoughts, hearing spirits in the wind or from trees, things like this. So I pretty much stay in the house. I don't go around people. I don't socialize. I'm celibate. I stay to myself. I stay in my home. My home is always just so, because if anything is out of order, it throws me totally out of whack. And I get overwhelmed. I get overwhelmed by interaction. I'm constantly thinking. My mind is constantly going and processing things from the past and planning for the future and assessing what's going on around me. So when I'm around other people, I constantly feel like I'm in danger and I have to protect myself. And before I know it, my hands are on someone because I feel as though they are a threat. Because in my mind, every male is a threat, every stranger is a threat, simply because of what I have been through. I was not always like this, but I'm like this now. And I don't believe that I will be like this always, but my life revolves around managing my mental health. So, one of my kids are bipolar. We all have our own little issues or whatever, but it has a lot to do with the things that were done to us. And so now I have given my kids the space to be able to follow their own passions, and that's something that's good about homeschool. We don't have all of those external influences that shape and mold my children. I want to be the only person shaping and molding my kids. Yes, they need to go out in the world and learn how to socialize, of course. And I train them. I train them properly. We have all the conversations. We go through all the scenarios. We have been through a lot as a family. So I need to make sure that they understand how the world actually works and how to move all of the pieces on the chessboard to get the result that you want. Kids need to learn about spirituality. They need to learn how to use prayer to form a circle of protection around them. They need to learn how to commune with the spirits and nature to get where they want to go. They need to understand why it's important to read their birth chart and how to groom themselves and how to have the mindset to attract what they want out of life. They have to learn that they can't chase anything, it's going to run from them. They have to sit still and call it towards them. They have to learn how to meditate and deep breathe and heal their body and use herbs and roots to heal themselves and keep their bodies clean and pure. That's my job full time. And then I learn more and more every day, and then I share it with you, and then you share things with me, and that's how we build a strong community and ultimately change the world into something that we actually want to live in and not a hell that we've been tossed into to survive and find ourselves. Back to the mom burnout. It gets to a point where I cannot be around anyone for a little while once I get full. I get full of words, I get full of other people's energy, and I have to process that. I have to have spaces where I'm alone. You're never alone. You're always with spirit. You're always with your God. You're always with nature. You're always being observed by something. I've got plants in here. I've got pictures of my ancestors on the wall. You're always surrounded by spirits. And that's why it's important that you keep yourself pure and you don't open yourself up by having sex with random people and drinking alcohol, literally spirits, and opening up portholes in yourself to let these spirits inhabit you. But on the flip side, there's also good things that can empower you, but you have to call them to you. And we do this spiritual work so that we do have support in the physical, right? But when it comes to being a mom, I'm centered around my family. I'm centered around my kids. I don't have any other relationships. I don't have friendships. I don't have a boyfriend. When my husband died, that was it. We were divorced a year before he died, but that was still, that was my plan. That was my person. So if that doesn't work, I'm not going to, there's no replacing him. All I can do is heal and put my energy into my kids and let them have their healthy families. And I can be a grandmom. I can be a service and an asset to them. I've chosen to live a life of service. And that was my choice. That's what I'm doing. So it helps me develop my character. When I learn more about God, when I learn more about how to be a better mom, when I learn more about how to be a better human. Otherwise, everything I went through was pointless. All that pain and rage that I carry inside of me, I'm a real alchemist. I have to turn that into something gainful. I can't just sit here and rot from the inside. So many people have cancer, not because it was something wrong with their body. It was something wrong with their spirit, y'all. It was something wrong with their mind. And they just held on to things that should have been expressed, yo. You have to express your passions, your rages, your fears. It has to be expressed, and then burn it. Let it go. Don't hold on to it. You know, don't let it fester, lest you become a walking disease on society, on yourself, a blight. And then you having kids and pouring that acidity into them. No, can't do it. So I had to stop these behavioral patterns that were killing my family. But sometimes I get overwhelmed, I get full, and I have to take time to just be on my own and just meditate, deep breathe, watch some YouTube videos, paint my nails, do my hair, read some books. Just sometimes I'm sitting in my room just looking at the pictures on my wall. Sometimes I'm just sitting there looking at the sky, watching the birds circling and how they're circling. I've had to say this word so many times, watching the birds and how they circle around my entire neighborhood at the same time every single day. These patterns, they have to mean something. Observing nature, just looking at a tree, looking at the very odd bugs that come on my window. Just taking time to, how do you feel? What do you see in this moment? So that I'm not trapped in the past or worried about the future. I feel like if I'm not in constant movement or in constant prayer, I'm worried or angry or regretful. So until I learn how to abolish those things, and maybe they will always be there, I do not know. But as long as they are here, I know that sometimes I have to force myself to be okay. And parents, not just moms, need to normalize taking time and space to just be and just sit and not answer phones, not answer questions, have the conversations with your kids. Y'all go find something to do. There's something to eat. There's something to play with. There's something to occupy your time. That's not me. Because sometimes my kids just want to be around me, but I feel depleted. It's like they're feeding off my energy. And they'll tell me, I need your energy right now. And sometimes it's overwhelming. So I had to normalize saying no. I had to normalize closing my door and putting a sign on there that says, do not interrupt me. Because I have that authority now. I've done so much in service to my family that when I say it goes, I have that authority because I've earned it. I've earned the respect of my family through my works. So when I say give me space, it's given. And I need that to stay refreshed. I need that to stay myself. I need that to stay alive and keep my breath. Because if I don't recenter, I have nothing but chaos inside of me. And then my family feeds off of that. I am like either a mountain in my calm when I'm doing my spiritual work, or I'm like a tornado. And it means the life or death of my family, whether or not I can handle those energies. So that's what I do. So I just wanted to come to you today and share a little bit about me for everyone who's new. Thank you for being here. Welcome to my channel. And just sometimes we get overwhelmed. And when we have an important meeting or something happens in our life, or even if we're just ingesting stressful things in the media, your brain needs time to process that. When we take in all of these factors, our mind's a computer. What happens with your computer when you put too much information? It slows down. It needs to process. So do you. Your feelings need to be processed. New information that you've taken in needs to be processed. Your senses need a place to calm and settle. Just like when you bake a cake or you make beans, you don't want your kids to run in there and eat it. You want your cake to cool and all of the flavors to meld. You want your beans, the seasonings, the salts to come together, but it needs to settle. You need to let it sit for an hour or two. That's when you'll really be able to taste every single piece of that meal. It needs to rest. It needs to settle, and so do you. My observations in art and in nature have really helped me find out how to deal with things calmly, stoically, and sometimes ragefully, but very selectively and in cycles and seasons. And so that's what I do. We have to learn ourselves and learn our environment so that we can advance. But we need the space to do that. We have to allow ourselves to do that. And sometimes we need to see somebody else do it successfully to know that it's possible for us. You know? I love you. Thank you for spending time with me here in Fury World today. If you're interested in checking out my music, it's available under my artist name, The Fury of Abyss, on all music streaming platforms worldwide. Can you relate to what I've spoken to today? If so, I have playlists that you may be interested in that you can check out on indoor gardening, spirituality, single parenting, and mental health. I love you, and I'll catch you in the next episode of Fury World. Peace.